I would like now to introduce Renee Gill.
Hi everyone, my name is Renee Gill. I represent CASCAN, the Connecticut Family Daycare Associations Network, and the Connecticut Childcare Providers Coalition. My current employment is with the Early Care and Education Training Institute, an agency providing consultation and education to the early childhood community. According to Governor Malloy and proponents of this legislation, the purpose of unionizing family child care providers I'm sorry, I don't have a very loud and projecting voice. According to Governor Malloy and proponents of this legislation, the purpose of unionizing family child care providers is to stabilize the workforce by providing family child care providers a voice, education, and a higher income to subsequently reduce Connecticut's education gap and provide parents and guardians security. As Lori Wojnarowski stated, licensed family child care providers are self-employed individuals. The term family child care provider should be reserved for these individuals who have met the Connecticut state licensing requirements, completed the process to gain a license, followed Connecticut statutes and regulations, and have chosen this field as a profession. Unlicensed providers that are considered legally exempt from licensing do not have to adhere to regulations or education requirements. With regard to workforce stability, the instability of family child care workforce we're definitely quoted here. Anyway, the instability of the family child care workforce has less to do with the rate of pay and turnover of this workforce than it does with the instability of the parents' and guardians' employment, where they choose to bring their children for care, and the value placed on the family child care workforce by the legislature. While everyone feels that early education is important, extremely important to Connecticut's future workforce and scholastic achievement scores, the people in the field are grossly undervalued and misrepresented. This legislation exemplifies that. Legislation and increased funding have placed more low-income, at-risk preschool children in school readiness and Head Start settings than ever before. This legislation takes the 3 to 5-year-olds out of in-home settings and into public schools and child care centers. Licensed family child care providers belong to local, state, and national associations that promote professionalism, best practice, education, and advocacy. With us today, thank you. With us today is Mary Mathis of Cherryville, who has provided child care for 42 years, 8.5 which she also provided foster care to 17 children. Mary is a founding member of the Child Care Resources of Central Connecticut, Inc., has served on its board for 26 years. She also served on the board of CASCAN and lent her time and energy to every Connecticut Care Conference hosted by CASCAN. Karen Mercure of Bristol has been a licensed family child care provider for almost 12 years. She holds an associate's degree in early childhood education and seeks continuing education opportunities to keep her skill level and knowledge current. She has chosen to specialize in caring for troubled, misplaced, misunderstood, and developmentally challenged children who are often shunned by society. She currently receives Care for Kids subsidy payments for 4 of the children in her care. Angela Griffiths of Southington has been a licensed family child care provider for 5 years. You heard Maria say she's been licensed for 13. Lori's been licensed for 15 years. Terry Bouchard, who founded CASCAN, has been a licensed provider for 28 years. And we have several members in the audience who also have been doing child care for 5, 10, 15, and 20 years. So much for stability. 25, good for you. And I was a licensed family child care provider for 20 years before we started the Early Care and Education Training Institute. As far as our voice goes, local family child care associations have been in existence for close to 40 years and provided a unified voice for their members. Many of these associations work with their school readiness council and family resource centers. CAFCAN assisted the local associations by supporting them through education for running associations, as well as providing its annual conference for all child care providers and acknowledging education achievements and longevity in the field. It kept associations informed of legislation affecting their members' businesses. CAFCAN worked with the Connecticut Child Daycare Council, Connecticut Child Support Steering Committee, Connecticut Association for Human Services, the Department of Social Services, the Department of Public Health, and the National Association for Family Child Care. We ran mentoring programs to assist newly licensed family child care providers, as well as providers found in non-compliance of the regulations, and a program to assist providers in acquiring their NAFTA accreditation. We worked on writing regulations that supported the profession and ensured the safety of children in our care. One of the things we fought for was to include mandatory first aid health and safety training as a condition of licensing. It was eventually implemented. We also fought to have first aid health and safety training included as a requirement of receiving care for kids. The education opportunities. The one thing I have to say, we fought for this, we couldn't get it. Someone needs to explain to us how unionizing unlicensed care makes more sense than mandating attending a first aid training. There are so many education opportunities in the state of Connecticut that have been funded by DXS, UConn's Cooperative Extension Service, CREC, the Education Council, who's helped start associations in the state, and the Child and Adult Food Program, which is run by the State Department of Education, provides education. It also now incorporates KIP and KIN providers in Hartford, Bridgeport, New Haven, and School Readiness through the Family Resource Centers provides education and outreach to the family child care providers and unlicensed providers. The licensed workforce has stability. The licensed family child care providers have a voice. The education is out there. The support is out there. Unionizing child care will not deliver anything that does not already exist. I urge you to contact the state Democrats and let them know you oppose HB 5312. Ask them to support you and not the union. Ask them to vote no.